I think it is safe to say that Apple is in a bit of a pickle right now. The dynamic island is burning people's screens, the plus-sized phone is ignored by almost everyone, and the budget-friendly iPhone gets canned. This situation makes choosing your next iPhone even harder than before, so which phone to choose, how to get the best deal for the buck, and which iPhone is best for whom. In this video, I'll cover everything you need to know to make the right choice. I'll cover all the controversies, all the problems, all the relevant rumors, everything, so buckle up and let's begin. Let's start with iPhones you shouldn't buy. Let's chat about the iPhone XR, XS, 11 and 11 Pro. Now, don't get me wrong, these models were total powerhouses in their day, but let's face it, they're starting to feel a bit long in the tooth. The designs are looking pretty dated, especially compared to the sleek new models that have come out, and don't even get me started on screens. XR and 11 have IPS liquid retina screens and they are not great in 2023. The brightness is low, the bezels are laughable, and the resolution is far from acceptable at this point. XS and 11 Pro lineup are better, but they still are lacking behind design-wise. As for the cameras, these older models were pretty solid in the camera department when they first came out, but now, not so much. They're just not as good as the newer models when it comes to low light or video quality. Camera tech has gone a long way since they came out, and the shots can look decent in normal lighting, but at night, And let's not forget about software support. iOS 16 as well as 15 have introduced quite a few features that weren't working on iPhone 10 and older. 10s and newer haven't yet experienced such limitations, but the time will come eventually. I'm pretty sure that for some features of the iOS 17, these phones may not be enough. Overall, I would say that if you're in a budget or you just don't care about having the latest and greatest, then these older models could be a good option for you. But still, I would advise you to stay away from them. Now, let's move on to something that's almost as old as those phones, the iPhone SE. Apple currently sells it for $429, and it's a lot. Think for yourself. The design is old, the screen is old, the camera is old, the battery is bad. The only thing good is the chip and 5G. That's all. Let's look closer, starting with the camera. While it's certainly not the worst camera out there, it's definitely not the best either. The truth is, compared to the newer models, the camera is kind of a letdown. It's just a single lens 12 megapixel camera, which is the same one that was used on the iPhone 8. And let's be real, that camera was good in its day, but now it's just not up to par with the newer models. Even with the new A15 chip, you'll find that the photos are just not as sharp and detailed as they could be, and forget about trying to take great photos in low light conditions. It's just not going to happen. There is no night mode. It doesn't even have a wide angle lens that the iPhone 11 has, and that phone is older. Battery wise, even if you're someone who doesn't use your phone all that much, you're still going to have to charge it up pretty frequently. You will find yourself constantly hunting for a charger or an outlet, especially if you are a heavy user. If you're someone who likes to stream videos, play games, or use navigation, you will surely have to charge it up before the end of the day once or even twice, especially with 5G. 5G is a very power-hungry connection standard, so don't expect much from the SE. I know the design is a subjective thing, and I know that some people like this old, refined, classic look. Many people still have that nostalgia for older iPhones, which drives them to this phone. Some people just can't wrap their heads around gestures, and some genuinely prefer Touch ID to Face ID. If you're one of them, then this iPhone SE can be a good choice for you, but if you were waiting for the new iPhone SE, stop. Apple has cancelled it. That's very unfortunate news, since we were expecting a totally new iPhone SE, which should have looked like the iPhone XR. And before we go any further, quick word from today's sponsor. How often do you find yourself with a piece of paper with dozens of tasks written on it? There was time in my life when I was keeping paper journals with daily tasks, ideas, and so on, but then I thought of something. Can I go digital? At that pivotal moment, Notion has become that one tool I needed to cut back on paper completely. I love Notion to stay organized because it's an easy-to-use platform that helps me actually commit to my goals and see them through. Notion has become my go-to tool for staying organized and cutting back on paper completely. It's super easy to use and helps me actually follow through with my goals. Notion makes it easy to create create tasks, set deadlines, and track my progress. I can organize my tasks into different projects and categories, and it helps me stay on top of everything. Also, I use Notion to take notes and keep track of important information. It's great that I can add images and embed videos or other media. It makes it easy for me to access all the important information and knowledge I need in one place. With everything in one place, I can plan, track, and do all my work in the same spot. Whether it's planning my next video or organizing a vacation, Notion has got me covered. The built-in calendar feature in Notion is a lifesaver for me. I can schedule events, set reminders, and plan my day, week, or month all in one place. This makes it easy for me to never miss meetings, even when I'm working day and night. Notion is also great for collaboration. Being a perfect place to share ideas and work together, I can share pages with my team and really streamline our work. But Notion isn't just about collaboration, it's also about making it my own personalized space for anything I want. The limitless customization options and aesthetic focus make it easy for me to build a system that works for me and make my workspace visually good looking thanks to emojis, GIFs, and images. Plus, Notion has a wide range of templates available for different use cases that makes it easy to get started and find a template that works best for me. One of the features of Notion that I wish I would have used more is its database functionality. I usually deal with a lot of files and having them in one place is important. I still have to figure out databases in Notion, but I'm sure that with time I will unlock the full potential of this amazing tool. Overall, I highly recommend Notion for anyone looking for a powerful organizational and productivity tool. The Notion world is my oyster, as they say. It's versatile, user-friendly, and customizable, making it perfect for anyone looking to get their life together. So click the link in the description and try it out for yourself and see the difference it makes in your organization and productivity. And now, back to the video. Okay, now it's time to talk about something more relevant, the iPhone 12 lineup. Apple currently sells only the iPhone 12 for $599, but on Amazon or eBay, you can find other models new or refurbished at the same price or even cheaper. I don't want to make any loud claims, but the iPhone 12 lineup is dangerously close to being the ultimate balance between price and functions. Modern design, vibrant OLED screens across the board, 5G and high-performance chip, what else to wish for? If we look at iPhone 12 and 12 mini Duo, 12 is obviously the one to go for. The 12 mini is a great phone, but it has only one problem: the battery. The battery life is similar to the iPhone SE, and if you are a heavy user, it won't be enough for you. Let's say that 12 mini is worth picking up only if you get a very good price on it, because in all other cases, you should choose the regular 12 instead. The iPhone 12 has a big 6.1-inch OLED screen with vibrant colors and thin bezels. The 5G connectivity is obviously a nice thing to have, and the A14 chip makes every interaction pleasant. With A14, you will be breezing through apps and multitasking like a pro in no time. And the cameras, great stuff, just great stuff. Dual lens camera system consists of a 2-megapixel wide-angle lens and a 12-megapixel ultra-wide-angle lens. Both cameras are great. They support night mode on all cameras, have deep fusion, smart HDR, and are great in every scenario. I would even say that camera-wise, this is the entry level. All iPhones before the 12 should much worse. So yeah, for $599, it's a steal. You can get it for $410 on Amazon. Just shut up and take my money. As for the 12 Pro and Pro Max, better in every way. The chip is the same, the connectivity is the same, and the screen is basically the same in terms of specs. The only major difference you'll notice is the camera system. The iPhone 12 Pro and Pro Max take things up a notch with a triple lens camera system, which adds a 12-megapixel telephoto lens with a 2x optical zoom. This allows for better zoomed-in shots without losing image quality. The Pro iPhones also have ProRes video recording and the ability to capture 10-bit Dolby Vision HDR video, which provides more colors, greater detail, and better contrast for a cinematic video experience. Additionally, the 12 Pro models have a lighter scanner, which allows for more advanced augmented reality experiences, faster autofocus, and improved low-light photography. Apple doesn't sell them now, and on Amazon they cost $520 for the Pro and $680 for the Pro Max. I would say that if you can snatch a 12 Pro at this price, good. Pro Max at $680 isn't worth it. As for the iPhone 13 lineup, that's where we step into a different domain. The regular iPhone 13 lineup is basically the same as the 12, but with few extra kicks. First, the screens are brighter, 800 nits instead of 625, the notch is smaller, the cameras are better and ranged differently on regular 13 and 13 mini, and the base storage option is up to 128 gigs. Add to it a better A15 chip, slightly bigger batteries, and improved camera algorithms with cinematic video mode. I know the list of differences doesn't sound like a lot, but the difference is there. As for the price, 13 mini can be bought for $570 on Amazon and $599 from Apple. 13 for $559 on Amazon and $699 from Apple. With Pro phones, it's even better. The A15 chip is even more powerful thanks to the extra graphics core, the amount of RAM is bigger, and the screen finally has the Pro motion. And believe me, that's a big deal. And let's not forget that the battery life on all phones of the generation is noticeably better than on any previous generation. 13 Pro, $850, and 13 Pro Max, $890. But what do we make of that? I would say that 13 is definitely a better deal than the 13 mini for everyone who's not a fan of small phones. If you're one of such fans, 13 mini is your best option. As for the Pro models, I think the price is too high. $870 for the base 13 Pro is a lot. I don't want to spend that kind of money on a previous gen phone. If it was $770, that would be a good deal, but it's not, so. And now for the final contestants, the iPhone 14 lineup. Here the situation is the funniest. Base models got the same design, and Pro models are... Let me show it to you. Everyone knows that iPhone 14 is basically the same phone as the iPhone 13. Looks the same, feels the same, works the same. The camera system is slightly better due to another sensor and photonic engine, but generally speaking, it's identical. Video recording is slightly better with the 4K cinematic mode and all new action mode that produces super stable images. Front-facing camera is also slightly better, but not that much. Performance-wise, it has the same A15 as the 13 Pro, so it's only a couple points ahead of the iPhone 13. Another difference you might not notice is the satellite connectivity and crash detection. But I've said that previously, and I'll repeat that again, not good enough. These two features are nice to have, but in no case should be a deciding factor. The base iPhone 14 costs $799 from Apple and $720 from Amazon. I'll remind you, the standard iPhone 13 is $559 on Amazon. You'll pay $160 less for the same phone. As for that 14 Plus, well, it's just a bigger version of the 14. The only difference between the two is the bigger battery and the screen. Apple sells that thing for $899, while Amazon only for $799. I think my opinion about this phone won't be as representative as the fact that Apple has cut production of this phone in October, only a few weeks after launch. Weak demand, as they say. It's not hard to see why 13 Pro Max can be bought cheaper. That would be a much better phone. But what about 14 Pro and 14 Pro Max? Well, it's tricky. On one hand, you get a biggest upgrade to iPhone since probably 2017, and on the other hand, you get a troublesome device. Let me explain. The iPhone 14 Pro is without a doubt a great phone. The new 48 megapixel main camera is fantastic and yields great shots on par with other flagships of this year. The videos it produces are also top-notch, but the camera is not without a flaw. We all remember that camera shake in third-party apps, don't we? That's a nasty surprise you can expect to see someday. The performance is almost identical to the 13 Pro, and all the games and apps run equally well. And the screen is better, much brighter, up to 2000 nits, and doesn't have that notch anymore. Now it has the dynamic island, a fantastic reiteration of a punch hole in the display. We've seen holes in phones before, but no one but Apple thought of integrating that into the interface. But this dynamic island is also a hidden liability. There have been reports from people that it burns the screen for some users. Look at these images. Don't they look terrifying? Personally, I don't don't have such an issue on my 14 Pro, but I feel like the thought of getting that will haunt me. But the issue I do have is some visible scratches on the screen. I'm a very cautious user, and this is the first iPhone where I get these really visible scratches after 4 months of use. I don't know why, but it's there. 14 Pro and Pro Max are great, but you should definitely take into consideration the fact that their new features are somewhat half-baked. And instead of spending $1,000 now, you may want to wait another year. But what will my recommendation be? Which iPhone is the best? I would say that the best iPhone deal right now is the iPhone 13. It's the best balance between price, features, and software support. The camera is great, the battery life excellent, the display very good, and the notch weathered classic at this point. It's the most refined version of the notch design, and you won't have any issues with it. And it costs only $559, which makes it a complete no-brainer. But okay, every consumer is different, so I will nominate 2 phones now: refurbished 13 mini and a used 13 Pro. If you are a fan of small iPhones and need something compact but without compromises, then the 13 mini is your guy. It's portable and light, but packs all the features as the big brother. I think if you can get it refurbished or used for around $500, it would be a great alternative to the SE3. And 13 Pro is just a great phone that can be picked instead of 14 Pro, especially on the used market. If you can get it for $800, it's a steal. You won't notice much of a difference from 14 Pro, but save a hefty sum. But again, 13 is the best all-rounder for almost everyone. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and see you in the next one.